Oh, God. I'm sorry you had to see that. It's just, this anime moves at such breakneck speeds, and the visuals are so jumbled and bizarre that I am getting motion sickness just by looking at it. I have no idea of what this anime is trying to get across other than to make me sick to my stomach. Today's first impressions review is a confounding anime called Handshakers. The title alone was enough to make me wonder if I should bother watching this anime. In my opinion, Handholders is a more accurate title for this anime. The first sign that something is amiss is the style of animation that was chosen for this anime. What we have here is traditional 2D and even 2.5D character animation superimposed over computer-generated imagery. It looks weird. The whole thing looks and feels like a video game cutscene. The characters look nice, but they look out of place when compared to the picturesque backgrounds. The animation and art direction is over-stylized to the point of being incoherent. The animation is jerky, the camera movements are awkward, and 80% of this thing ends up changing from shot to shot every 2 to 3 seconds. It's enough to drive you nauseous. And if you are not feeling sick from the awkward animation and jerky camera movements, then you are being blinded by how bright this anime is. Anybody dumb enough to watch this anime in a dimly lit room is going to get Porygon syndrome. Someone please turn down the saturation on this thing. How would you like it if I ran the rest of the video like this? Nobody in their right mind would want to continue watching it. I gotta give them credit, though, that they tried to make the animation style somewhat unique, but it is not particularly pleasing to the eye or the stomach. The other problem facing the first episode is that it literally drops you into the action from the get-go and leaves you picking up the pieces. There is no setup, no real character introduction. It's generic and full of stilty and confusing dialogue. It's like Garzy's Wing all over again. Except Garzy's Wing didn't make you want to throw up after 5 minutes of watching it. And then there is the fan service. There is this one girl in the show that is bound by chains that act as if she is being raped by tentacles. Watching the chain girl moan and orgasm out of more chains was kind of surreal, not to mention super creepy. If that weren't enough, most of the female characters' breasts defy the laws of physics and are unnaturally humongous and seem to move completely on their own. There is absolutely no reason whatsoever on why this is here. The story and the characters are very hard to grasp because we are not given very much details about them in this episode. The little I could understand about this show is that it takes place in Osaka around the time of 20XX AD. So this anime story takes place around the same time frame as Mega Man. The story revolves around this kid named Tazuna who has a penchant for tinkering around with gadgets and fixing things, and that is pretty much all you learn about him in the first episode. There's no backstory to the characters. You don't know who the main character is except that he has a name, a sister, and fights. One day One day he finds a mysterious girl in a hospital bed that reminds him of his sister and reaches out for her hand only to be pulled into a strange new world and must now join hands with her and use their Nimrod and the Ziggurat against the evil Oompa Loompas of Loompa Land, led by the Dark Lord H.R. Pufnstuf, who aims to take over Ronald McDonald Land. Trust me, that joke makes a lot more sense than what we actually get. Handshakers is built on a premise that simply does not make sense. It sets up this bizarre death game of some sorts where the two main characters have to fight against other handshakers for reasons you guessed it, unexplained. The rules for this death game of some sorts are barely explained, other than the fact that if the boy lets go of the girl's hand for too long, she will die. Don't ask me why this episode was so full of needless and confusing expository dialogue nearly from beginning to end. I have never seen a first episode for an anime that literally said so much, but said so little. There is literally nothing else for me to say about without giving me a headache. So, with that, I give Handshakers a 1 out of 10 for initial interest, and I am not even going to waste my time with the rest of this show. Now, excuse me while I try to find out where the Dramamine is. This is the American Anime Otaku signing out. Like what you see? Then please help support the show by contributing to my Patreon page for special perks, exclusive content, and more.